Hello and welcome to Friday's Granada Reports.
Hello there. On the programme this evening.
Unhappy New Year. Homes and hopes wrecked by flooding. As the clean-up continues, it's left those affected with questions, but also tears.
Good job I've got Stephen. Yeah, we'll get us through it. We have to keep smiling.
And as the floods subside, there's no respite in the weather, I'm afraid. We'll be looking ahead to a weekend of freezing temperatures, snow and ice for many parts of the region.
Also on the programme tonight, behind the scenes at the special lab preventing Northwest nightclubbers from taking potentially lethal drugs. And it's story time at the nursery that's been looking after little ones in Formby for 50 years.
So first tonight, the New Year flooding may have subsided, but an all too familiar picture is emerging of anger about how ill-prepared parts of our region seem to be.
Residents and business owners are demanding answers from the authorities, claiming they've been left at the mercy of the weather.
Well, the Environment Agency says that flood defences they've built have defended 21,000 homes in our region, but they admit more work needs to be done.
Our correspondent Anna Yosef has spent the day with some of those facing a bleak start to 2025, with amber warnings for more extreme weather this weekend.
Sewage and floodwater flowing into homes where hours earlier families had been celebrating New Year's Eve. Heavy rains had caused a nearby brook to burst and drains to overflow.
Just dirty water everywhere. Within an hour, it had gone from the skirting board height to where it eventually finished within an hour.
It's the third time in 3 months that Julie's home in Wigan has been flooded.
We just couldn't stop it. We tried, next door tried, but we just couldn't stop it coming in. Well, the sewage obviously is coming from the manhole cover at the back, but we have a hay brook outside of us that rises and it can't get anywhere. Once it goes over the road, it's not allowing to flow into another part. No. Not a good new year for myself and the residents that live by us at all. Not a good start at all. It's heartbreaking, really.
Parts of the northwest saw almost a month's worth of rain within 48 hours, and it's going to take months to repair the damage. Stephen and Sheila say it'll be a while until their house feels like a home again.
It's okay, come on.
It's a good job I've got Stephen. Yeah, we'll get us through it. We have to keep smiling. There's people worse off than us.
Yeah. Every time that there's heavy rain, what
Yeah.
goes through your mind?
We just sit there and wait. We keep going to the drains, watching the drains on the drive, making sure they don't leave.
We didn't want to get up on the day after. We were upstairs in the dry and we just thought, can we come down and face this? Because as you walked on here, you were literally squelching on a sponge. And it's that sort of mindset, you know, what do you do? This is ridiculous.
Nikki's home and hair salon in Elmston were hit hard by the New Year floods.
My staff have turned up every day, friends, family, it's just been amazing. They've been in the house, scrubbing floors, taking curtains down, just literally. I think we removed 57 buckets of water in about an hour, and then we had to do that in every single room. People came and ripped carpets up, they were all in skip. They've just been amazing.
Emergency services declared a major incident in the early hours of New Year's Day. Almost 1,000 people across Greater Manchester had to be evacuated from their homes.
I'm gutted for them, if I'm honest. Every time I get involved in coming to aftermath of events like this, you just see and feel and the misery that people are having to suffer. At least 21,000 properties have been protected from flooding that would have flooded if it hadn't been for the flood defences that we build and maintain.
As the region's clean-up continues, many will be asking how prepared we are for future floods. Anna Yosef, ITV News.
Well, you just feel those residents' pain, don't you? Joe is with us, and we really have had some horrendous flooding over the last few days. Just give us a sense of how bad it's been.
Already this autumn in the northwest we've seen well above average rainfall, and of course with the New Year's floods there and a huge amount of rainfall falling on New Year's Eve affecting those areas. Of course we're still only in January, and February, March can see further rainfall, so it is likely that we'll see further flooding across the northwest over the coming months, and we really just advise people to keep across the warnings and the Environment Agency website where they can to see if they're going to be affected in their area.
And we've got more to come this weekend, haven't we? What should we brace ourselves for?
Well, things are very cold at the moment, Anne, and as we go into the weekend, we can expect snow, ice, and we have warnings in place, a real plethora of warnings here. But for us tonight, ice is the real issue. If you have to travel, do be very careful out on the roads. As we head into tomorrow, we're expecting a band of snow to move up the country, and we have yellow and amber warnings in place from around 9 o'clock tomorrow night, particularly for higher parts of the northwest through tomorrow night and into Sunday, potentially up to around 40 centimetres of snow could fall. Even in low-lying areas through the course of tomorrow night and into Sunday up to lunchtime, so Merseyside, but even Greater Manchester could see around 8 or 9 centimetres of snow. It will move through, and by the end of Sunday evening it reverts back to rain. But then, of course, there lies the problem of the thaw, which will create obviously more water on the roads and the rivers, potentially more flooding ahead.
OK, Jo, many thanks indeed. We'll get a full weather update with you later on in the programme. We've also had a response to our top story tonight. Wigan Council say they deeply empathise with residents affected by flooding and work with other organisations to manage flood risk and help communities to become more resilient to flooding.
Meanwhile, United Utilities say of the Wigan flood incident, we understand the frustration of residents living in the area. So after an earlier flooding incident, we carried out work to increase capacity in the brook by removing debris that had been dumped in the short section that is in our ownership. We continue to keep this clear. We are working with both the local authority and the Environment Agency as they explore options for flood alleviation. But as Jo says, just keep abreast of all the warnings. There's our website, there's the Environment Agency, so, you know, let's just hope that people get through it. We're moving on now, and a warning about some strobing images coming up in our next report. We're going behind the scenes at a charity which is working with one of our region's major music venues to keep clubbers safe from harmful drugs.
Yeah, the Loop have a Home Office licence to test drugs and operate a mobile lab at the Warehouse project in Manchester.
The scheme doesn't condone drug use. Rather, it accepts that it happens and tries to warn people if extra powerful and harmful substances are in circulation.
Our reporter Tim Scott was given exclusive access to see how they work.
It's 4 p.m. at the Warehouse project in Manchester, and Katie Porter from The Loop takes charge of drugs that have been confiscated or donated the night before. They're taken upstairs to the charity's laboratory.
We will be testing these quickly, rapidly, to see what is in the substances, if there is anything of concern.
The drug haul includes all manner of pills and powders. Until they're tested, it's impossible to know what they contain. A significant concern is the variation in strength of MDMA or ecstasy pills.
We found those to get stronger in 2024, but still a real variance in terms of the strength of MDMA that might be within a pill. So we've seen a range of from 90 milligrams through to 300 milligrams, which could be 3 times what could be a single dose for an individual.
The Warehouse project is one of the largest music venues in the UK. Each year, tens of thousands flock there to dance and enjoy its roster of DJs from around the world. Unlike most venues of its kind, many people who attend will take drugs. Event director John Drape says the Loop's drug testing programme is one way of reducing the potential harm.
Having an on-site laboratory means we can test drugs that much quicker, which the quicker we can test them, the quicker we can get the results, and should there be anything of concern, so that might be something that's super strong, contaminated, it means we can get that warning out, and it's all about getting the warnings out quickly.
Upstairs, the Loop uses state-of-the-art equipment to test the drugs. They're catalogued and entered into a database. It means super strength or rogue batches of drugs can be monitored and any concerns about them put out via the likes of social media or the Warehouse Project app.
Is this a kind of acceptance now that drugs are here to stay and they're not going to go away and people are going to take them?
People do choose to take drugs, and we want to ensure that if people are making those choices, that we're able to provide good, accurate, clear information for people to take informed decisions and hopefully reduce any harms that may come about through the choice to take drugs.
We're looking at harm reduction, and anything that can reduce harm should be done.
Ray Lakeman's sons Jax and Torrin from the Isle of Man died in 2014 after overdosing on ecstasy. He believes drug testing saves lives.
I'm quite sure that if there'd been drug testing, my boys, if they took it, would have known what it was, and they would still be here today. And anything that would have made that possible, I'm for.
With the Warehouse Project season now over, the Loop will look forward to the summer music festivals to continue its work, and it's hoped they'll be able to expand their life-saving mission to even more venues across the UK in the future. Tim Scott, ITV News, Manchester.
OK, now for a look ahead to what's coming up on the ITV national and international news at 6:30 with Lucrezia.
Coming up, the latest on weather warnings as freezing temperatures hit the UK. Weather forecasters warn parts of the country could see as much as 40 centimetres of snow. It's as health bosses issue a warning about the alarming rise in the number of people with flu ending up in hospital. And
Littler is through.
Luke Littler makes it to the final of the World Darts Championship for a second consecutive year, but this time, can he go all the way? Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
That is a big question, isn't it? Can Luke the Nuke go all the way?
We were talking, weren't we, that last year was 16, this year he's 17. It will still be massive news if he makes it, won't it?
Yeah.
And Warrington and everywhere else in the northwest will go wild.
Fingers crossed that he does. He does pull it out the back.
Next, how far would you go to find true love? Don't answer that, you're a happily married man. Well, for the contestants of the TV series Married at First Sight, they're willing to go all in.
Yeah, if, like me, you've never seen it, the Channel 4 show is a social experiment that matches single people with total strangers who they meet for the very first time on their wedding day. Why would they do that, I hear?
Well, that's why it's telly, isn't it? The latest series featured the first ever deaf contestant, Ross McCarthy from Manchester. Take a look at this.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Are you right?
Another?
Yeah, I'm scared. Oh.
What's your name, Bannon?
Sasha. What's your name?
Ross.
He's tall, covered in tattoos, tanned, and I can communicate a little bit in sign, so maybe it was meant to be.
Wow.
Spoiler alert, it wasn't meant to be. Earlier I spoke to Ross. He came into our studio with interpreter Deborah. I started by asking him why he decided to go on the show.
I just hoping that a lot of deaf people out there this work can look up to me. Being the first one on that, I'm just hoping they could see it and they could have a future by looking at that. I might be deaf, but I will always hear you.
I can imagine there's a lot of pressure being on the show anyway. Does it get even harder because you are deaf, so there were a lot of challenges along the way when it came to communicating with people and sitting around the table and listening to people?
I never hold myself back. I'm strong, I'm solid, so I just get involved just like that. But then afterwards, I do get a lot of people coming up to me, and it's like a different lifestyle now, because it's not like it was before. And I get like 1,000 people keep coming up to me, especially going into town. And obviously, me being deaf, I cannot hear from behind. I can. And I just get a load of people coming, jumping at me from behind, shove me up because I can't hear, because they're shouting me, Ross. But come on, do that face to face. But yeah, it's a bit different from after the show and then before the show.
Do you feel like a role model now?
I hope so. I really do hope so, yeah. Because like I said, there's not many deaf people come do TV shows. Just go for it. If you get big opportunities and stuff, go for it. Because that's what I did.
One of the things that you're hoping to do is to establish a deaf centre in Manchester. What are your hopes and what do you hope to achieve?
Yeah, so I'm looking for a place in Manchester where you can get involved with a lot of deaf people. So can all travel at one place to meet and greet. At some point I could invite some hearing people that would love to do sign language so you can spend more time together to pick up to either to communicate because there's a lot of deaf people out there you cannot do talking, speaking, you know, because you use the hand, stuff like that. That's what I'm planning on doing, mate.
And just finally, Ross, you know, for a youngster watching this chat, a youngster with a disability, you know, what would your message be to them today?
Follow your dream, do not give up and just go for it because you can never get this opportunity again. Beat the fate.
Ross, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Yes, really wise words there from Ross, a
What a
thoroughly decent bloke.
superstar.
Yeah,
What
really
a
good guy.
superstar.
Really enjoyed that chat. I come to sport now and a big night at the Ocky. Hi, Chris.
Yeah, we've all got darts fever today, haven't we? We're all excited to see Luke Littler in the final of the Darts World Championship tonight. More on that shortly, but it's a big weekend on the football pitch too as Manchester United make the trip to Anfield.
Take a while maybe for Ruben Amorim to bring this out of the players. I don't know, but they will definitely go up, and they are much better than the league table shows at the moment.
We know that is going to be a tough moment, really different context from both teams. They had that strong base for long years, and they are a strong team. But like I said, we work this week to win the game. We will try to do that.
There should be a fascinating battle at Anfield this weekend. Meanwhile, at the bottom of the table, Sean Dyche could do with a win to kick off the new year. Everton, with just one win in 10 matches, face a tricky trip to Bournemouth, while Manchester City take on West Ham after finally earning a win at Leicester last week. So have the champions finally turned a corner?
Of course, it's good for the mood. You know, get results, obviously, but we are away. For our best to be consistent in the results, but of course we have an opportunity to against West Ham to make another victory that always will help for the future.
And in the Championship, it's Lancashire Derby time, and a look at the league tables shows you there's plenty on the line for both clubs. Burnley are just 3 points behind the leaders and don't want to drop into the playoff spots, but that's exactly where Blackburn are heading if they can get a win at home against one of their most fierce rivals.
Getting that winning feeling. FOW, sponsors of the Granada Sport Report.
Now, as promised, we turn to Ali Pally and the World Darts Championship with Warrington's Luke Littler in the final for the second successive year.
Numerous finals. This is my second. I know where I went wrong last year, so I know he's going to be up for it, and I am certainly.
So, no doubt plenty of excitement at Luke's old club, the St Helens Darts Academy, where Rob Smith has been sampling the pre-match atmosphere.
Yeah, I think if they could fast forward time tonight and make this final happen much sooner rather than later, they would. Such is the level of excitement here. Players from the St Helens Darts Academy testing out their skills, some testing them out on Luke's board. Luke the Nuke is in that final tonight. His very first coach, Carl. How excited are you for tonight?
I think we're all excited, not just myself. I think as a committee in a darts academy, if you want to produce one of the best in the world, Luke is one of the best in the world, but you want to produce a world champion as well. So hopefully he'll do that in a few hours and we can go home and have a good night's sleep then.
There was lots of fist bumping and high-fiving in the semi-final last night, but not quite the same like Van Gerwen, we think.
Yeah, a bit different this time.
A bit spicy.
Yeah, I think you've got to concentrate more on your darts tonight. Yeah, it's a massive occasion for both players as well. MVG really wants to win this, and he is one of the best, if not the best in the world.
Matty, you're 15 years old, you're in the academy, you're 2 years younger than Luke is right now. How much of an inspiration is he to you?
He's a massive inspiration for me. It just shows that if he can do it, any of us in this academy can do it as well. So yeah, it's great.
How are you feeling about tonight?
Bit nervous, you know.
You're not playing?
I know, but imagine how he's going to be feeling. But yeah, just hope he can get over the line this time, not like last year, but we'll see. He has that experience this time of being on the big stage in the final, so hopefully he can do it this time.
And you're convinced, Carl, that experience is going to be the difference tonight?
I think it'll make a difference, yeah. I think he's more mature, he's won a few big ones, you know. The Premier League of darts is so hard to win, and to win that, you've got to be the best player in the world, and you know, and he did it pretty comfortably in the end. So I think he's got that experience. He knows what he's actually got to do this year now. He knows he's got to smash MVG, which is virtually impossible to do, but hopefully he'll do it, and I think he can do.
And convinced he can take that youngest champion ever title off him?
Yeah, of course. If anyone's going to do it, it's him. I don't think there's anybody else near him at that age. There isn't.
Carl, Manny, thank you so much for your time tonight. They cannot wait for it to start. Very, very excited. We shall see if Luke can do it.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Good luck to Luke the Nuke tonight. What do we think, guys? Do you think he's going to do it this time?
I think it's really lovely to see that production line of future Luke Lindless.
And they're all brilliant. Yeah. They're all hitting it in the trebles.
All in a big line. It's fantastic.
You tell me what you think, Chris. I mean, whenever I watch Luke playing, he always seems really calm and he never displays any signs of nervousness. You might be feeling it, but you never see it.
He always says that he's really relaxed, and many times he doesn't even practice before big matches either. He just gets up there and does the business. Last year, he said if he won, he'd go out and buy a kebab, I think was the first thing that he wanted to do. £500,000 if he wins it. He can afford two.
Chris, thanks very much.
Yes.
We've got everything crossed, haven't we?
Indeed, yeah, we certainly do. OK, finally, to the very special birthday being celebrated at a children's nursery on Merseyside.
Now, when we tell you it's a 50th birthday, that's a clue. It's not one of the children.
No, the Formby Day Nursery is 50 years old and is still being run by the same woman who first opened it.
Patience of a saint. Our reporter, Lucille Brobby, went along to see how it's been such a success for so long.
Celebrating half a century of care, cuddles and countless memories. 89-year-old Pamela first opened Formby Day Nursery in 1975 and 50 years on, she's still running it.
Well, when we moved here, there was no playgroups or nurseries at all and lots of children, so we decided we would go for it. We started with 4 children and now we have 46 at a time. We have a lot of parents that came here as children. It's like one big family, really. It's been lovely.
Over the last 5 decades, Pamela was known as Mrs. Edwards, but recently she's earned a new special title, courtesy of the children she cares for.
Most of them call me Grandma. If I go shopping, you hear everyone say, "Look, there's Grandma." So it's very nice.
Pamela first opened the nursery alongside her late husband and now runs it with other family members. Her granddaughter Katie says her dedication and passion is an inspiration.
It's been amazing working with her. It's a privilege, really. She's got such a determination. 89 years of age, nearly 90, still working, outdoing us all every single day. She means everything to me. I'm just so proud of her, and if I'm half the woman that she is, then I'll be proud of myself as well.
Pamela is still as present as ever and has no plans of slowing down anytime soon.
Well, it's my life, really. I've never thought of doing anything else. It's lovely. The love of the children is well worth it. And I shall keep going. I'm not retiring yet. Hopefully.
Things may look a bit different to how they did 50 years ago, but the care and joy Pamela brings to children in Formby is still the same. Here's to 50 years of smiles and many more to come. Lucille Brobby, ITV News, Formby.
We need more Pamelas in the world, don't we?
Hats off to her. We've got 4 between us and they're a handful, aren't they? Here's Joe now, back with the weather.
Why do I need a shower? I've been out in the rain.
The faster you go, the sooner you'll be out. You'll save water too.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Hello again. A real taste of winter this weekend with plenty of snow moving in across the northwest over the next couple of days. We have yellow and an amber warning in place for snow and ice from tomorrow into Sunday. Very cold air across the UK will be met by a frontal system moving up from the southwest during tomorrow night. Snow will migrate northwards across the UK, giving us significant amounts of snow here in the northwest Saturday night into Sunday, and by the end of the weekend perhaps up to around 40 centimetres could fall on the very tops of the Pennines. Back to this evening, showers continue to feed through. Temperatures are hovering around freezing. Watch out for a few freezing fog patches, and there's a widespread warning for ice across the northwest through tonight. A cold night to come with temperatures hovering around freezing before dawn, when the sun will be up at 8:28, setting at 4 minutes past 4 tomorrow afternoon. Early showers across the northwest tomorrow morning, a few freezing fog patches and a very cold start to the day. And then things will dry up a little bit with perhaps some brightness. Through daylight hours it should stay largely dry, but as we approach tomorrow evening it'll be going significantly downhill. That band of snow will move up from the south, and by around 9 or 10 o'clock tomorrow evening it's moving up into the northwest, and that's when our warnings come into play. Significant snowfall expected through tomorrow night and for much of Sunday, with further snowfall during Sunday itself. And by the end of the weekend, perhaps up to around 40 centimetres on the tops of the Pennines. Quite widely, up to around 10 centimetres of snow could fall. This will thaw Sunday night into Monday, so keep an eye on flood warnings in your area. A much calmer start to the week. Bye-bye.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Joe, thanks very much. And you can keep up to date with all those weather warnings on our website. Just go to itv.com/Granada.
Yeah, so do wrap up and be careful on those roads if you need to travel, or much better, just stay in and watch a rerun of this programme online.
Eat Christmas chocolate. I'll be back with the late bulletin.
See you later. Bye-bye.